Bravo Leaders, welcome back to my channel. Today we're back in Kitty at Barr Street, Kitty. Here's the St. John Road and Irving Street. That's Campaign Ghana, the Army military base. It's about noon, right? It's about 12 p.m. on Monday. I haven't been in this area at this time of the day because surprising how busy it is, and that's because the Army, right, the Guyana Defense Force is the largest employer in this neck of the woods. So all of this traffic and all these parked cars are people who are working here at Campaign Ghana, Army military base in Georgetown. But here is Barr Street in Kitty. So what we want to do is to take a look at what is changing in Kitty. And today we're at Barr Street. There's 3 streets we need to cover to complete Kitty. The next one that's south of this street is Shell Road, Kitty. And the other one north. We're going to get to them in subsequent videos. But this is Barr Street. That's a DeWalt supplier. A little store that does, among other things, hardware. Right, on this side we have Hand in Hand Insurance Company at the corner of Barr Street. This is a renovation, interesting renovation. They're doing some stone-like facade on the building, on the wooden building. But this is what's happening here on Barr Street. Now what I want to show you is how things are changing in the oil and gas era here in Georgetown, Guyana. It's noon, and at the end of Barr Street you can see all the way over to Sheriff Street. That tall building is in Campbellville. We've seen it in the previous video, but I want to show you here. There's a clothing store here on Barr Street. There is a pharmacy, and on this side there is another gentleman's store. This gentleman's store, it's a clothing store here on Barr Street. That's looking back where we came from. It's quite busy. This is the street with the market, right? Kitty Market is on Barr Street. Here is some new construction here on Barr Street. You see there's some St. John Road. This is a multi-story high-rise. Multi-story, that's 3 stories, 3 stories. A 3-story renovation of an old building on an old lot here on Barr Street. And that's looking back on the same side of the street. It dwarfs the neighboring buildings. So Barr Street is now decidedly a commercial street. There's a lot of commercial activity here in Kitty on Barr Street. It's a lot like Alexander Street, right? Barr Street is now becoming a lot like Alexander Street. Used to be residential, but now it's entirely, almost entirely, or becoming very much commercial. There's another new construction or renovation on Barr Street in Kitty. And this is one of the 1980s renovation, 1990s renovations. You can see during that time they built these large concrete facades on the house. That seems to be an abandoned or empty lot. Well, not empty lot, empty building, but still in pretty good condition. I'm pretty sure somebody's eyeing it for purchase and eventually turning it into something major. This is a tire shop, Max Tire Shop, here on Barr Street. Kitty seems to have a major auto operation. They have an auto parts store on the other side of the street. Right, that's Max Auto Parts store on a multi-story building. Morning. That's a, what is it? Fritas. So you can see a lot of commercial activity here on Barr Street in Kitty, and a lot of the changes that are happening here are in terms of commercial buildings and commercial enterprises replacing residential buildings, right? So it's no longer just a residential neighborhood, it's in fact commercial and residential, decidedly so, and in fact quite busy. Coming up to the intersection with Alexander Street, there are a couple of things I want to show you here on Alexander Street. It could take a little bit of time, but be worth seeing. Right, that's Barr Street. Looking back where we came from, it's a bit cloudy today. Right, it's a bit cloudy. It's Customs Brokerage on the other side. It's Shop Mart. This is the Kitty Market. Kitty Market at noon. It's closed. But this is Barr Street. What I wanted to do is show you here the little detour onto Alexander Street. Promise to show the boundaries of Kitty. And there's a little map here that shows you what those boundaries are. Here is the map of Kitty. It shows you that Kitty is bounded by Lamaha Street to the south. Right, that's Lamaha Street to the south. Blissingen Road to the east, or to the west. Blissingen Road to the west. To the north, that is Carifesta Avenue. And to the east, it goes as far as Sheriff Street. And well, not really. You can see there's Campbellville. Right, there's Campbellville. Sir Brianville up to the north. Sir Brianville up to the north. But the railway embankment, right, the railway embankment provides one of the eastern boundaries, which is now a railway embankment road. And Middleton Street. So it goes as far as Middleton Street. And there you can see Lamaha Street. The map is faded. Lamaha Street in the middle. So those are the boundaries of Kitty based on this map. Just wanted to show some of the people who are disputing my defining the boundaries of Kitty. But let's get back to Barr Street now. This is the Kitty Market at noon on Monday, so it seems as if the market is closed, or at least lots of the shops are closed. On the ground floor, let's see if we can see what's going on the inside. Alright, this is the Kitty Market at noon on Monday. It seems as if it's actually closed. Right, a lot of the stalls are closed. The windows are open on the upper floor, so I suppose some of the councillors are probably in, because it's also the home of the city council. That is the Kitty municipality. Here is, we're back on Barr Street in Kitty. Premium Foods. There's a little storage shop lot on the corner. This is Premium Foods. Now we're on Barr Street east of Alexander Street. You can see it goes all the way. There's a new multi-story building, about 4 floors here on Barr Street. So this is what's happening in 2023 and in the 2020s, right? A lot of the modification, renovations, and extensions of these buildings are upwards, making them taller to take advantage of space in height. But as you can see, these are the typical size of buildings in Kitty, which was once entirely residential. But after the 1980s, 2000s, renovations made these buildings bigger. So some of them you can see the 1980s renovations, which brought concrete on the ground floor. Then there were the 1990s renovations, which gave them both upstairs and downstairs, that is top floor and bottom floor, were made out of concrete. So this is a 90s renovation. I think I know this house. So the 1990s renovation brought concrete houses on both levels, upstairs and downstairs. And in the 2000s, yeah, I think I know that house. Actually visited, been inside before. But here on Barr Street you can see the kind of archaeology of the changes that took place in Kitty over the years. Right, the renovations, which started with, in the 1980s, the ground floor becoming concrete, and in the 1990s, with the whole building, upstairs and downstairs, becoming concrete. And in the 2000s, to 2010, people started coming back from the US and Canada and building homes like they saw or like they lived in North America. I haven't seen any clear evidence of it. This house, for example, those windows and the front veranda, showing some evidence of styles that were re-imported or brought back by people who migrated or remigrated back to Guyana. Right, so this is what's happened recently in the 2000s. The houses, what's a school, I believe? Which one is it? Don't remember the name of the school, but you guys, if you know it, you can tell me what it is. But yes, of course, in the 2000s, a lot of these buildings started to look like what the people who remigrated left in North America. Right, this is Barr Street in Kitty on a Monday at noon. This one, for example, is great wooden building, original design, like a 1960s, 1970s design of a residential building. And this one, 1960s design. Here you have the Mandir, the Hindu temple here in Kitty, and the building next door, of course, is part of the temple grounds, temple property. But this is Barr Street, Kitty in 2022, and what I'm saying is that a lot of the changes, for those of you who have lived here 50 or 60 years ago, you can see significant changes now in the neighborhoods compared to what existed back in the 1960s and 1970s. But what I'm saying is that this kind of video is recording what the city looks like now before the oil boom. And this, I believe, all of this is going to be transformed in the next decade or so as the oil and gas wealth begins to percolate through the society. A lot of these buildings are going to become much more modern, and a lot more calmer or commercial buildings will move into the neighborhood, simply because people with money can afford to buy these buildings, and they will make an offer to these homeowners that they can't refuse. But this is Barr Street in Kitty. Here we're coming upon Lamaha Street. Right, Lamaha Street. The north, the east end of Kitty. Beyond this, of course, is Campbellville. That's Middleton Street. Middleton Street looking south. Right, that's Middleton Street looking south. Middleton becomes Lamaha. At sorry, Middleton becomes Lamaha at that intersection, the near intersection here. So that's Middleton Street looking south. That's the intersection of the train line. And this is now Lamaha Street. Middleton Street becomes Lamaha Street. And that's looking north. That's Lamaha Street looking north. So that's it, guys. This is Barr Street in Kitty. If you want to see more content like this, tell me what you think about. Click like and subscribe and tell me what you think about changes here on Barr Street in Kitty. Right, this is Barr Street in Kitty. It's now one of the commercial centers in Kitty. Right, they have clearly a lot of commercial activity, both in vehicles and in hardware, and they have a market and so on. If you remember this neighborhood from back in the day, 50, 60 years ago, tell me what you think has changed and help us understand how this neighborhood is changing as I record for you now what it is now and what it will be, what is likely to become in the future. Share this video with friends and family around the world. Let people know what's happening here in Georgetown, Guyana. Later!